Spain's economy has crashed. What was once one of Europe's high flyers has become one of its desperate cases.
High debt was built up during the boom years and the government had to step in, but now even the government itself may need a European bailout.
VOA's Alex Pessin has been following Spain's financial troubles, and he talked with us about the crisis from VOA's London bureau.
The situation is quite serious in Spain at this point. They're on the verge of maybe taking a European bailout. Unemployment is 25%, youth unemployment is 50%, and they're going to need an infusion of cash, and they can't afford to borrow it in order to begin to get themselves out of this crisis.
You mentioned youth unemployment. I know that you talked to several groups of young people about how this crisis is affecting them. What did they have to tell you?
It was really interesting and quite touching, actually, Alex, because I spoke to university students who are among the lucky ones in Spain. About 30% of young people in Spain have the opportunity to go to university. But now they're worried about whether even their degrees will help them get jobs when they're ready to graduate. And many of them are thinking of leaving the country to find jobs, which kind of compounds the tragedy because Spain's going to need exactly those people once it begins to dig its way out of this economic crisis.
When you're in and around Madrid and other areas of Spain, do you get a sense that this is a country in economic turmoil?
Well, it really sometimes seems like two different countries, because when you go downtown, the shopping streets are crowded, the cafes were very crowded on a Saturday afternoon, but I'm told people are not buying as much as they used to. They might be stopping at a cafe for a drink or a light meal, maybe not for a big meal. So it's affecting people in different ways. You have the bottom 25% who are unemployed, and then you have a lot of people in the middle who may be worried or who may have had their salaries cut or their pensions cut. And then you have people at the upper end who are still well off and still living the same life that they led before the crash in 2008. It's really, in some cases, a very stark contrast.
You also spoke to another group that's been heavily affected by this economic crisis, which is the group of Latin American immigrants who reside in Spain. What did they tell you about their concerns?
Well, Spain has always had immigrants from Latin America, but between the year 2000 and 2007, 7 million people came from Latin America to Spain. That was an increase in the Spanish population of something like 18% in 7 years. That's incredible, unbelievable. And most of those people came for jobs in construction and jobs as domestic workers, cleaning, taking care of children, taking care of older people. Now, many of those jobs have disappeared. All the construction jobs essentially have disappeared. There are more than 6 million empty housing units in Spain, so they certainly don't need to be building anything for many years to come. And so many are considering returning home if they have the resources or through a government program. And the others find themselves in shelters and soup kitchens. It's really potentially, well, it's all, let me just say this. It's really a desperate situation for many of them and could become desperate for many more very soon.
Al, you also traveled to Barcelona, where the economic crisis is having a different kind of impact.
Right, Alex. Barcelona is in eastern Spain, northeastern Spain, the Catalonia region. That's a relatively wealthy part of the country, so the economic crisis is having its impacts there, but not as severely in Madrid and other parts of the country. But what it is doing in Barcelona and the surrounding area is making more people more interested in independence. There has long been a move for Catalan independence, but it used to only have about 20% support in public opinion polls. Now the support is edging up close to 50%, and interest in independence there is growing.
All right, Al, thank you so much. We know that you will be following this story very closely for us. Thanks again.
Absolutely. Thank you.